guys saw, that was the computer build. So we got 32 gigs of RAM. Let's see, Core-i5 9400F. It's one of the new Coffee Lake processors. It's pretty sweet. Like, it's 6 cores, and it was $150, which is a pretty good price for that too. I got it without the discrete graphics, so obviously requires a graphics card, but I was going to get that anyway. So, and that's sick because it cuts down the price of the processor a lot if you don't get the built-in graphics, or the what is it called? Integrated graphics to the processor. I think that's the term. I don't really care. But yeah, so that cuts down the price a lot. So 32 gigs of RAM, the Coffee Lake processor, 6 cores. We got just 2 gigs of video RAM. It's some Radeon card. I don't know. It was like $100. Like, I was not focusing on the graphics card really at all. Like, I knew baseline kind of what I want to go for, and kind of 2 gigs was kind of the bottom like number I want to go. And $100 like for a card, like decent card, that wasn't bad. So got that. And I'm not gaming on this machine like at all. So I just needed something to run, like, you know what I mean, that'll be reliable, fast. But I'm not gaming on it, so it's not a concern at all for me. Really, the 2 biggest concerns were the amount of RAM and processing speed, because the main function of this computer really is going to be for web development stuff. So running Visual Studio. Visual Studio, it can be pretty resource heavy sometimes, and that combined with, I mainly use Chrome as my browser, so doing some debugging that, man, that Chrome kills your resources. So running those 2 things at the same time, it would be nice to have a lot of RAM. So 32 gigs is going to be awesome. It's going to be sick. That's what I have on my computer at work, and that runs great. So I'm banking on it's going to run real smooth here too. 6 cores, it's going to be able to. It's going to be real fast too. Yeah, I had some old, well, not old, but I had some like 1 or 2 year old SSDs from my last build laying around, so I just used those. And then I think it's like 500 gigs as just like a hard disk drive that I have for like extra storage. So I have those 2 things, but obviously I have my OS on the SSD. Then I use the hard disk as the just like extra storage. Yeah, so that's pretty much the gist. You know what I mean? This power supply, it's like some Corsair 750M. So just 750 watts, modular. I think it's like 80, what is it? What's the rating? 80 plus bronze or something like that? 80 bronze, 80? I don't know. I got it a few years ago. I knew at the time, but it's a power supply. It works plenty of watts. Definitely overkill in terms of power. I'm running to this machine now. I think I'm drawing like not maybe 400 watts, like maybe half like the capacity of the actual power supply. So that'll be fantastic. The lighting you saw, I had that for my last build too. It's just like a light strip, like cathode strip or whatever it is. They're not LEDs, but it's just like one of those like bulbs, like a long bulb, and then you just plug it into, I think it plugs into like the PCI like bracket, but you just wire it like you don't wire it. It doesn't hook into like the PCI Express slot. You just wire it with cabling from the power supply. So yeah, I think. And then I went real cheap with the CPU fan. I found a pretty good deal on this one. I mean, it's a fan, you know what I mean, but it works. So haven't noticed any temperature issues at all yet. So knowing what I had in my last build, my last computer build like a few years ago, I was doing some gaming on it, but I had it overclocked. It was a Core-i7 4770K, and I had it, what did I have it? I forget what I had it overclocked to. I think it was, I don't want to say like a just completely bogus number, but I had it overclocked pretty good, and man, that thing ran hot. I had it on a Corsair like closed water loop. The ones you can just like buy like straight up, and like just the water loop connected to the rad and the fan. I had one of those, and that thing, I'll be honest, like that thing pushed it pretty good. You know what I mean? Like the processor ran hot. So I'm not overclocking this CPU at all. I'm leaving it as is out of the box. So it'll be fine. Like no issues there. Like no worry, concern whatsoever there. Yeah. So this build is mainly going to be for web development stuff like Visual Studio, all that. So that'll definitely be in videos to come. I'm not going to show you videos like me setting up the environment. Like it's not really that extensive, you know what I mean? But I am going to be starting the project series is up hopefully pretty soon. I have like the paper I wrote up for the text prediction thing. I have that somewhat finalized in a way that I can review it myself and then make a video based off it. So that'll be coming hopefully pretty soon. I think the way I'm going to do that, at least in my head right now, is I'm going to kind of do it in parts just to explain like each step of the way. At least I'm going to film it that way. I'll see how it comes out. If turns out it'll be better in one video, I'll probably just do one video. But I don't know. I have to set up, the first thing I have to do before I start that is I have to set up some type of, I don't know what I'm going to use for a database yet. I don't know if I'll just mock some data or if I'll just make like a local SQL database on my local machine. I don't know. I'll have to look up some options because the way the text prediction will work, I need data to be continually be put back in the source. So I think, yeah, I don't know. I want to think about that. I'll make that'll be in a future video. Yeah, so definitely stick around for that. That's gonna be sweet. Hopefully there's hopefully you get some views on that. We'll see. I think I'm still getting some decent views on my iPad Pro programming. So hopefully some of those views carry over into my other videos. We'll see. So yeah, I know the lighting on these videos kind of stinks, but nothing really I can do about it. I start filming these usually at night when I have like free time because I work like the whole day, and then I get home like about like 5-6 o'clock, and then I'm not really in the mood to go from one thing and then start working on YouTube stuff right then. So that's kind of why the lighting's always not the best. Maybe it's always a little yellowish, at least for right now. I think the background, the setup will be changing in like a month and a half once I kind of like move to where I'm moving to, and I kind of get settled a little bit. And I have a DSLR camera that I use in the past just for photos. I'm gonna see how that works with video. I've used it for video a little bit in the past. It's just, I know I can adjust and stuff, but it's just kind of a pain in the neck to set up when it's like very comparable video to like what my iPhone puts out with no editing on it. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see about that. And it's like, it's so easy, just shoot it from my phone, send it right over my computer. Yeah, but I don't know. We'll see. More videos to come for sure. So stick around.